now time for the morning show on XL7-TV.
It's Wednesday, the 15th day of March, and this is the morning show on XL7-TV. I'm Bob Rectonwell. This is Scooter.
Whoop, whoop.
Scott Kellys.
How are you?
It's Wednesday.
It's not another Monday. You
far.
said it. Usually it's another Monday. So a Wednesday is a good thing. You've stepped up a little bit
It's a
today.
move, yeah.
Yeah,
You know why it's a Wednesday?
Because you don't have your buggy
No, because I drove myself.
and you drove yourself. Good job.
Go 9 weeks without driving and see how much you miss.
I don't think I could do that. I got
It's
too
hard.
many things that I'm involved in, and too many.
Well,
I'd have to hire somebody full time just to drive me around.
I'm going to publicly state that I really appreciate my wife, Tina, for being my feet, my hands, my everything for the last 43 years, but mostly the last 9 weeks.
I got to give your wife credit for just dealing with you this long.
It's been a long time, but I really do appreciate her taking care of everything that she's had to do, not only the normal stuff that she does on a daily basis, but all the stuff that I try to do. But you don't realize how much you miss when you can't do.
Oh, yeah, when you can't drive and stuff.
Holy cow. It's different, but thank you once again, and it's been good.
So you got your temp or your other,
I have my
brace
my
on?
permanent brace on. I'm only allowed to wear it 2 hours a day.
Okay. Then you got to get back on the other cast.
And then I got to take it off, put the other thing back on, and then
I call it a cast. It's
after
a portable
might as well
be.
be.
Portable cast.
And then after a bit, I can increase that to 3 hours a day, and then 4 hours a day, and then 5 hours a day, and then continue to gradually build that, and then start doing it in reverse to wean myself off of it. So it's a 6 to 8 month process.
All righty then.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mowing season's here.
There you go. There you go.
Gonna make that interesting.
That'll make that different.
Absolutely. Gonna be interesting. Anyway, it's on the upswing, so there we go. It's time for the morning prayer, brought to you by Roller Funeral Home of Arkansas. With all our respect, it's not just their motto, it's the way they do business. With 29 locations that serve you in Arkansas and 1 in Memphis, Tennessee, Renata Jenkins Byler and her staff throughout their whole company do a wonderful job taking care of you in your time of need. And now the morning prayer. Lord, we just thank you for who you are and what you do for us on a daily basis. Lord, we just pray that you'll give us the wisdom and knowledge to deal with things that we can handle on our own. And Lord, if things come up that we can't, we pray that you will put people in our pathway that can assist us through those hard times and through those issues that we're dealing with. Lord, we just pray that you will continue to be with our government at all levels, from federal to state to county to city. Help them make decisions that aren't for their own well-being, but for the well-being of the citizens of each entity. Lord, we just pray that you will continue to lead, guide, and direct us throughout our daily walk. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Roller Funeral Home of Arkansas, with all our respect. Highway 5 North, past Hospital Drive. On the right-hand side of the road, the biggest American flag you've probably ever seen. Pull in there, go talk to them about pre-planning, the mausoleum, funeral services, and such. Pre-planning is probably the biggest thing. Your family didn't live your life. They don't know how you want to go out. So go help them with that, and that way they're not dealing with it in their time of grief. Roller Funeral Home, 425-2161 is their phone number. Give them a call. If you don't live in our immediate area, they can tell you where the closest roller is to you. Roller Funeral Home. Now a quick word from Bob and Linda Zadora of the Z Team, Century 21 Lee Mack Realty, 870-405-0793 is their number. RetireToArkansas.net. We'll be back just a moment.
Well, folks, have you been trout fishing before?
Not since I was a little kid.
You'll do fine.
Hey, what are you doing?
Aren't you coming along?
See you downriver.
How do you start this motor? I've never been in a boat before.
See you downriver.
Well, folks, have you sold a house before?
Yeah, about 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you'll be okay then.
You sure?
Where are you going?
See you at the closing.
Hey!
At the closing.
We should have called the Z Team.
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. The weather and all the updates is brought to you by Bob and Linda Zadora, the Z Team, Century 21 Lee Mack Realty, 870-405-0793. RetireToArkansas.net is their website. Go there, click on live views, and this is what you see. Nice sunrise over to your right from coming across the city of Mountain Home. What you're looking at is a shot from Marion County, Arkansas, back into Baxter County, Arkansas. And that is the city of Cotter with some lights still on. See if we can go into a closer shot here.
Yep. Sorry, I was on another screen fixing something.
Yeah.
Let's switch over. There we go.
We've got some colored lights on the bridge. A little froggy, a little bit out of focus there, isn't it? Or is that just my
Yeah,
eyes?
it's probably having a hard time with the light transitioning right now. Where
Trying
it's
to
at.
decide what it wants to do. There we go into focus there.
I had a picture.
A picture?
Morning, and this is beautiful first thing in the morning when they got all the lights on.
That's cool. That's the Rainbow Bridge down at Cotter, going from Cotter into the flipping side into Marion County. On the back side of that is the old trellis bridge for the railroad system. That's the ballpark there on your lower right. That's just a great
Just
shot.
a great shot. I captured it.
Really is. Up in your upper left in that shot was the city
Sorry.
of Bull Shoals. No worries. And you can tell it's definitely a live shot because the river is moving right along.
It is full.
It is full at that. Bob and Linda Zadora, the Z-Team, Century 21 Lee Mack Realty, 870-405-0793, retired to Arkansas.net. If you go there, click on MLS listings, you'll see what they've got available in our MLS, which covers North Central Arkansas and Southern Missouri. They are licensed in both states. They'll be glad to help you in either area. Let's take a look at the radar. We'll let that kind of flip through. If you look at the radar right now, Scooter, looks pretty good for the Midwest of the United States for sure. Arkansas being in the dead center looks pretty clear. California and Arizona still getting some stuff over that direction. They had a lot of snow over there.
Did they?
Oh yeah, like
They
6
have
feet
been.
in some areas.
Oh,
Unbelievable. We'll zoom back into the state of Arkansas here. And click one more click. From Rogers to Jonesboro, from Fayetteville to Blytheville, Fort Smith, Conway, Little Rock, Benton, Hot Springs, Pine Bluff, Texarkana, Greenville, Mississippi, all clear. Scooter, got a question for you.
yeah.
When you leave here and go to Conway, and you get to Highway 65 off of Highway 14,
I
what
knew this
direction
would
do you
come
turn?
up. I knew this would come up. Well,
How do you justify that?
it depends. If you want to take the direct route, you'd hang left. If you want to take the scenic route, you hang right.
And drive 15 or 16 miles toward
Yeah,
Harrison.
it's probably quicker to come back down, though, when you're done. All right, I'll admit, I did it. We were driving down. I got to talking. I had Robert with me, and we got to talking. I wasn't paying any attention. I hung her right, and I'm driving. All of a sudden, this doesn't look right. I've done that trip so many times.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
And then he's like, well, I saw a Harrison sign right back there. It said 15 miles. Like, oh, no. Yeah, I went the wrong direction.
Yeah, what he told me, he said, yeah, Dad, I saw a sign that said Harrison 33 miles. And I didn't say anything because, Scooter, he's in control. He's in charge. He said, the next one I see is 15. And I'm thinking, well, sooner or later he's going to figure it out.
Yeah, he doesn't say anything. You're right. Yeah, sooner or later I did figure it out. It was a little later.
Yep. Let's take a look at some temperatures. Mountain Home is 30, Harrison is 31, Batesville's 27. Yellville, you might as well put that back on the river.
I got to open them back up. I already closed them.
Oh, Yellville is 29, Marshall is 29, Salem's 28, Mountain View's 27, Calico Rock is 30, West Plains, Missouri is 28, Springfield, Missouri is 34, Poplar Bluff, Missouri is 27, St. Louis, Missouri is 28, and that is the current temperatures.
See, that's how you go when you mess up the schedule here.
I like to throw you off every now and then.
You did good.
Watches and warnings looks like we're still in the cold zone. Freeze warning all across the north half of Arkansas. Northwest Arkansas is out of the freeze warning. All of Tennessee is there. Most of Mississippi, most of Alabama, pretty good part of Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. It looks like it's just pretty dang cold. They actually have a winter weather advisory going on in the north panhandle of Florida and the southern portion of South Carolina. So that's unusual that you see that.
Down in that area.
It's going to affect the beach life for spring break, I'm sure. Some schools are already on spring break. It's going to change that up a little bit. They'll be wearing parkas instead of bikinis. 7-day forecast looks like this. Frosty, mostly sunny today, high of 57, mostly cloudy tonight, low of 43. Breezy and chance of showers, then showers. Thursday, high of 59, 90% chance of rain Thursday night. Going to be heavy rain and blustery, low of 31 degrees. Might turn into a little bit of snow. They didn't mention that, but I am.
No, don't.
Blowing
Add that
snow.
4-letter word in
I
here.
like it. Mostly sunny and breezy, high of 46 on Friday, mostly clear, low of 27. Saturday, high of 45, low of 22. Clear on both days. Let's take a look to see what Sunday looks like. Sunny, mostly sunny, high near 45, winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, gust up to 15. Going to be a cold day on the river.
Ooh.
Monday night, Monday high near 49, Monday night low near 32, and then Tuesday it's going to be high near 53. Lake level and dam reports. Lake level at Norfolk is 558.83, which is 6.83 above full pool. They're currently generating 1. And Lake Bull Shoals, 666.63, which is 7.63 above full pool of 659. And they, as you can see in the pictures that we were showing earlier, they are currently generating 6. So that water is rapidly moving. If you're thinking about taking a fishing trip and you're not well experienced on that, you might consider getting a guide. But give them a call at 870-431-5311. Check the dam report, the generation report for yourself. That's been the weather and all the updates, the dam report for you. Brought to you by Bob and Linda Zadora of the Z-Team. Century 21 Lee Mack Realty, 870-405-0793. RetiredArkansas.net. Realtors you can recommend to a friend, but I say they're busy, but never too busy to assist you. You're watching the morning show on XL7-TV. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hi, Brett, Fritz, and Paisley here at Mower Warehouse on Buzzard Roost Road. We sell Ferris zero-turn mowers that have patented coil spring suspension. Mower Warehouse has the largest selection of Ferris zero-turn mowers in stock. 0% financing available. We buy, sell, trade new and used mowers. Mower Warehouse also services all brands of mowers. We offer free delivery. Come see us for all your mower needs. That's Mower Warehouse on Buzzard Roost Road in Mountain Home, where your business is appreciated.
It's a matter of taste, and at Brick Oven Pizza.
Welcome back to the morning show on XLTV.
Little
XL7-TV, it's time for community news and happenings brought to you by Mower Warehouse of Mountain Home.
They have you ever been out there? No. It's a big place. They've got a lot of mowers out front. They got a lot of mowers inside. They got those have you ever used one of the stand-up mowers?
No.
There's a lot of people that use those. I see a lot of the commercial people that use. I always want to try one, but they do carry them. They carry these huge mowers. They got the Ferris mowers with the spring suspension. If you like that softer ride, it's supposedly a really, really good ride. But,
Yeah.
But they've got a lot there. They work on mowers. They got parts there. They've got anything and everything. Stop by, see them today. They've got new and used. They will buy you a used mower, and they'll take them in on trade-ins, stuff like that.
Cool.
Great place.
There you go. Community news and happenings brought to you by Mower Warehouse. Looks like we've got Baxter County is going to celebrate their sesquicentennial. Sesquicentennial? I don't know how to say that. I don't know why I picked that because I can't say it.
You can't even say it. And that's the sad part. You picked that.
I know. That's the bad part. It's 150 years. 150 years of Pioneers in Progress. On March 24th, Baxter County will celebrate this event from 2 to 4. Baxter County Library historian Vincent Anderson and Vice President of the Baxter County Historical Society, along with Kevin Bodenhammer, who's the Vice President, will be there. They're going to talk about what's going on. Sounds like a good time. We moved here in 72, 73, so they had just done the 100 years.
Oh, okay.
So we've been here 50 years now, and
now it's 150.
Now it's 150. Hard to
How
believe.
How do you say that?
Just like that, 150 years.
There you go.
Pretty easy. 150 years. 150.
Why didn't they just start with that?
I don't know. Why didn't they lead into it like that? What a deal. ASU Mountain Home Chancellor Robin Myers has decided that he is going to retire at the end of July. He has been doing a great job for ASU Mountain Home, and they're going to miss him for sure. They're going to put a search committee together and try to find his replacement. And it's going to be a big hit for the ASU Mountain Home. You know, Ed Coulter was there forever and ever and ever. And
Yes.
when he left, it was a hit, and Dr. Myers is going to be leaving himself. And
He's been there for a while.
he's been there for a while. So that's going to make a big difference. On the sports side of things, the Mountain Home boys soccer team played to a tie against Harrison. The girls soccer team got beat 6-0 by Harrison as well. The Mountain Home Lady Bombers softball team went over Siloam Springs to kick off their conference opener, and they played a conference doubleheader. The first game they won 15-0. The second game they won 26-0. So it was a big win, conference win for Lady Bombers. The boys teams also played, but I did not have a chance to catch their scores. I'll try to do that while at a break and make a quick mention of that after a while. As far as the community happenings going on, we've got Developing an Ozarks Green Thumb, Saturday, March the 18th, from 8 to 3:30 at the First United Methodist Church at 605 West 6th Street. You can still register to attend that. The cost of that is $35, which includes lunch. Seating is limited. There'll be snacks and drinks provided throughout the day. They'll have several guest speakers there to assist you with that and help you have a good time. Knights of Columbus is having another Paul Bunyan breakfast, all you care to eat: scrambled eggs, biscuits, gravy, pancakes, sausage links, coffee, and orange juice. All brought to your table on china with silverware. $8 for adults, $4 for children. Kids under 4 eat free. That's Saturday from 7:30 to 10:30 at St. Peter's the Fisherman Catholic Church at 249 Dyer Street. So there we go. Let's take a look what else we got here. Third annual Community Spring Bash on March the 25th from 1 to 3. They'll have all kinds of things for you to do at Impact Faith Church at 940 East 9th Street. One more thing we'll talk about real quick before we take our break is the Friends of the NRA 2023, The Future of Freedom. It's the Mountain Home White River Annual Fundraising Banquet, Tuesday the 18th of April at 5:30 at the Baxter County Fairgrounds. We'll have more information about that at a later time. We'll talk about this probably daily, a little bit more each day. And that is the community news and happenings brought to you by Mower Warehouse and Mountain Home. Thanks for watching. You're on the morning show with XL7-TV. We'll be back just a moment.
It's a matter of taste, and at Brick Oven Pizza Company in Mountain Home, delicious taste is all you will find. Enjoy signature crafted pizzas and appetizers, as well as oven-baked sandwiches, quesadillas, salads, pastas, and desserts. When it comes time to relax or meet up with friends, Brick Oven Pizza has you covered. Handmade cocktails and ice-cold beer are always available at their fully stocked bar. No time to dine in? No problem. Call in your order and use Brick Oven's convenient drive-thru window for all your to-go orders. It's a matter of taste at Brick Oven Pizza Company in Mountain Home.
Have you ever noticed every time you wash your car, you end up wetter than the actual car? Next time, run down to Car Care and let the friendly staff put a smile on your face. Car Care of Mountain Home has a variety of services to clean your vehicle's needs, inside and out. From a simple wash and shine to their outstanding detailed services. Located 1525 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. Stop by Car Care Mountain Home today, because driving a clean car always makes you feel good.
At Connor Family Funeral Home, our goal is to provide our friends and neighbors with caring, compassionate services at an affordable price. Connor Family is a full-service funeral home that offers a wide range of services to meet your family's needs and customs. We are the first on-site crematory in the area and provide many options to memorialize your loved ones and address all the details for a more personalized service. Where compassion and affordability meet, Connor Family Funeral Home in Mountain Home.
When you think about Hospice of the Ozarks, it's our desire that you think about finding a way to live your life to the fullest while living with a serious illness. If you ever need help and support, we provide a team of healthcare professionals and volunteers that will support your physical, emotional, and spiritual aspects of life while doing the same for your family and caregivers in the comfort of your own home or wherever you call home. When you think about Hospice of the Ozarks, we hope that you grant us permission to walk on the journey with you. Your not-for-profit option since 1979.
When you're out of town, make sure your pet is with someone who will love them as much as you do. At 201 Pet Salon and Resort, your pet is cared for just as they would be at home. 201 Pet Salon and Resort is the only all-suite climate-controlled and air-filtered boarding facility in the area with private and spacious rooms to keep your pet relaxed. And with over 3/4 of an acre of fenced play area, your pet will receive the proper exercise they deserve. 201 also offers professional grooming services. Your best friend is in good hands at 201 Pet Salon and Resort in Mountain Home.
All you've ever wanted was a place to write your story. You hear it's not the right time to buy or sell a house, but really, the best time is when it's right for you. The real estate markets, they change, they go up, they go down. One thing that doesn't change is where you want to be in your life. The professionals you team up with will make your story happen. The Z Team are the professionals you need to hire for your next chapter. So call the Z Team at 870-405-0793, Century 21 Lemac Realty, 1024 Highway 62 East, retiredtoarkansas.net.
Are you?
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. It's our monthly visit with the folks from the Disabled Veterans and the Veteran Services for District 3. It's Dan Hall and Hollie Scoma. How are y'all?
Good. Busy.
Yeah. I wanted to do a different introduction.
I like it.
That wasn't the one I wanted to do.
Yeah, it's okay. It's morning. We got it.
I was going to
we'll roll with it.
We can always start over.
I was going to get Scooter to play the theme song for Dueling Banjos.
Okay. Yeah. Dan, all right.
So we talk about them pretty boys.
Oh my gosh, will you stop?
It's an inside joke, people.
Moving on.
Oh yeah, okay, moving on. How's Mr. Dan Hall? You weren't with us last month.
I was kind of down. My wife and I both came down with some sort of a kind of like pneumonia, got down in the chest, and it levels you.
Yeah.
Couldn't hardly walk out to the barn to feed a horse. Went and got checked for COVID and flu and didn't have any of that, but it took almost a month.
Wow.
To get over, and slowly come back.
Wow, that's crazy.
Then I found out there was a whole bunch of it going around.
Yeah.
24 people that I've talked to had the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad that you kept it with yourself.
Me too.
How's Miss Hollie?
I'm good. Just been busy driving around, so visiting all of our new CVSOs and getting them trained and spun up, and then helping clients here and there, so it's been busy.
Did you say trained and spun up?
And spun up, yeah. Spun up on all the new things.
There you go.
Yeah.
Not caught up.
That's our new slogan now.
That's the new one.
Yeah, we're gonna be
Ladies and
spun
gentlemen,
up.
welcome to the morning show on XL7-TV, where we will spin you up.
Oh my! You guys are in a mood today.
It's the first day of the rest of your life,
right? No, we've been doing good. We have a lot of events and things going on that we're gearing up for already. So kind of transitioning from our mini break, if you will, from having a lot of outdoor events and things like that. So
got a lot of stuff coming up in April.
Yeah. So we actually have a couple things coming up in March. So this week on Saturday, we have our Harrison Women's Lunch group that's meeting. So we are trying to branch out a little bit and start a group somewhere else. And then we're also working on starting one in Hot Springs. So this Saturday at 11 to 1, we're going to be meeting at Neighbors Mill. Just kind of having women stop in so that we could get their contact information, kind of meet everyone else, and then, they could break away and get ready for spring break. And
who's
have
invited
fun.
to that?
Only women veteran. So,
but that's my point. It's all the women veterans.
It's
not
all
just
the
one
women.
branch. It's
Yep.
not just
every branch.
not just officers or people in your
however
club,
long they serve. So women veteran. Okay. Yeah.
And that'll be happening in Neighbors Mill in Harrison.
On the 18th from 11 to 1.
And then you said you're going to try to reach out and go somewhere else?
We are. We're trying to start another group in Hot Springs as well. So we're waiting on some leadership down there to kind of give us some more info. And then we'll start branching out down there too. So eventually we're going to have a couple of these around the states so that women can travel and go to these. and they can have some fellowship and get together and go over new things that are happening.
And it's information for the veteran.
Yeah. So it's information for the veteran, and it's a little bit more informal, and it's all women, so there's comfortability there so that we could have those tough discussions and talk about things that only affect women. And I'm sure that they do affect our male counterparts, but we like to branch out.
Sounded to me like you're getting singled out, Dan.
Yeah, we stay busy.
Yeah.
We've got several things coming up. We just, last week on Thursday, did our quarterly meeting of the Together with Veterans grant, and we had about 24 people, just a broad segment of the community that are what I call our experts on veteran suicide prevention. That went off real well. And of course, this week we've got today Disabled American Veterans Auxiliary meeting at 1. Next Monday, Disabled American Veterans regular meeting on Monday. VFW meeting that evening.
Yep.
When is the Veterans Benefit Fair over at the college?
So that's going to be the April 29th. It's on a Saturday as well. So that's going to be 10 to 2, and that's over at the fairgrounds. Yeah, that's the Baxter County Veteran Benefit Fair.
Yeah, and as soon as we get through this thing, there, in addition to this suicide prevention grant that I facilitate, there's two things that I really concentrate on every year. One is the Friends of the NRA banquet, which that foundation, it's not the NRA, it's a 501c3 that raises money for youth programs locally. Last year we were able to give a check to Mountain Home High School, Cotter High School, and the Baxter 4-H for their programs. And then the other thing, after we get through that, we start thinking about our October Veterans Outreach Picnic that we do over on the college campus now. We used to do it at Hickory Park, so we outgrew that venue and went over and talked to Chancellor Myers and said, we need a bigger venue. He said, Dan, we'll do whatever you need. We're going to miss him. I understand he's announced his retirement.
End of July.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been really great to work with, and besides what he's done for the college, just what he does in the community. So, hard to find.
How long does it take you to plan that big event at the college? The day after it's over, you start again?
Pretty much. We start to get things lined up for the next year, and we've got it down to we pretty much know who to contact for what. And of course, Nikki Robbins, the maintenance chief over there at the college, she does a whole lot of stuff behind the scenes to help us get set up, and the whole community gets involved. But as far as really starting to push, usually we start end of June to start things moving because you got to raise a little bit of money for you're going to feed 650 people. That takes $1 or $2, and the tents and whatnot. But this community just really gets behind it.
Hollie, let's go back to your women's club.
Yeah.
Your social time. Is it the goal to have one of those in each county?
So not necessarily in each county, because I don't think we have enough women veterans to support all of that, but close to each county, yeah. So the one thing, so it is Women's History Month. So the VA just released some information and some infographics on it. But 60% of VA employees are women, and of that 60, 1/3 are veterans. So we are the fastest growing veteran group right now currently in the VA. So we make up about 11% of it, and then we are 30% of all new patients currently. So the women veteran was a small force that has just kind of started to trickle and finally grow. We're projected to be over 20% of the veteran population. So we were 6, now we're 11. Gearing up. So these groups, like I said, are just more to be informational and to kind of like have that fellowship. We have things like the American Legion, DAV, VFW, but those are more mingled groups with both, and normally tend to be more male driven. So this is just a way for us to have, like I said, that kind of fellowship.
Dan, you mentioned earlier something about Baxter County Friends of the NRA. Are there other chapters throughout Arkansas that do basically the same thing, or
there
try to?
Are. I don't know how many. The Harrison has a chapter. There's one down in Russellville. We started ours about 5 years ago, and the community, like so many things that are worthwhile, really got behind it, and we've continued to grow. This year, see John Hale's going to cater. He usually makes a really great brisket for dinner. Chris Nassari will be our auctioneer. I don't know if you've ever seen him, but he's entertaining.
You have to be careful with Chris
to say the
Nassari.
least. He does a great job for us. And it's about raising money for youth programs, for firearm safety and whatnot. We do things like best practices for school security, anything to have to do with firearms, what have you. Support the ROTC program. See, that Navy ball's coming up April 14th, I think that is.
They just put it on Facebook.
We're always involved in that. We give a nice plaque to the Cadet of the Year.
Yeah.
There's just an awful lot of things that are going on with veterans. She mentioned women in the VA. I think we have over 9 million veterans that actually use the VA for their care, and people get a little upset with how it takes time to change things. VA healthcare has over 400,000 employees. For every doctor, there's 10 administrators. And that doesn't count the veterans benefit side. There's another 60-some thousand there, and then they just hired another 59,000 when the PACT Act passed. So it's a big number of people that go through these systems, and VA is more and more contracting with outside providers. When you have a claim, they need to do a physical. VA doesn't do them anymore. They send them to Optum, is the name of the company that has the contract to provide all these physicals and what have you. So it's a big operation.
It's time for a quick break. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching the morning show on XL7-TV.
Are you looking for the best barbecue in 2 states?
Holy smokes!
Want the meatiest fall-off-the-bone ribs?
Holy smokes!
The most tender and delicious pulled pork?
Holy smokes!
The tastiest brisket in the Ozarks?
Holy smokes!
Holy Smokes Barbecue and Catering is the only place you need to go. Dine in, carry out, and the best food for your next catered event.
Holy smokes!
We're your mountain home for great barbecue cooking.
Holy smokes!
A higher calling for your taste buds.
Jim Brown Company keeps you cool when it's hot and warm when it's not. A trusted name in the mountain home community, Jim Brown Company provides timely heating and cooling installation and repairs. Our certified technicians incorporate new technology on every job to provide you with the most advanced services. At our metal fabrication shop, we handle projects big and small. We've created everything from commercial ducts to custom designs.
I'd recommend Jim Brown Company to my friends and neighbors. The reason being they have high-tech equipment. Their service techs are well qualified for the job that they do, and they also send me a report after all the work is done so I know exactly what my unit's doing.
By visiting our showroom, you can learn all about our heating and cooling products. We'll educate you on your options and help you decide on the right solution. For total comfort at your home or business, choose Jim Brown Company. Quality service with a family name since 1964.
Diatley Dental Care is a family-owned dental practice. Doctors Irvin and Christina Diatley grew up in the Twin Lakes area and are proud to serve the community. With modern treatment methods and state-of-the-art technology, they are dedicated to providing exemplary care to patients of all ages. Our compassionate team consistently receives training above and beyond the standard of care.
We're changing the way you see dentistry.
Come be a part of our dental family.
Overhead Door, a garage door company that has been with your family from the beginning, through all the ups and downs of life. From the small repairs to making your vision a reality. Overhead Door, your trusted garage door expert since 1921. Be sure you're getting the genuine, the original overhead door service.
Call Overhead Door Company of North Arkansas today in Mountain Home.
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. Dan Hall, Arkansas Department of Disabled American Veterans, and Hollie Scoma, District 3 Veteran Service Officer, are with us this morning. And we're talking veteran stuff and happenings and things going on. Mr. Hall, what else have you got happening?
Well, we, besides what we're doing here locally, we've expanded into several counties, and, since the Mission Act, which allowed veterans to be cared for in their own community from non-VA providers, instead of having to drive everybody to Little Rock 3 hours for a 10-minute appointment.
Yeah.
We've had quite a bit of success through what is now Baxter Healthcare. It used to be Baxter Regional.
And now it's Baxter Health.
Baxter Health. And they've done a really outstanding job of working with veterans. They decided when the Mission Act passed, they wanted to be the provider of choice for local veterans, and they've really gone out of their way to do that. We've been able to then, with our suicide prevention and our veterans programs, through that Baxter Health, make contact with all of the providers that use that hospital, and that kind of made our footprint almost 11 counties, even up into Missouri.
So they don't have to necessarily travel to Mountain Home. They can use any of the satellite offices. Is that the way it's working?
Well, pretty much, and you can get referred from your veterans clinic here directly to a provider in the community. It may be at Baxter Regional, or at Baxter Health. It may be, but they all use Baxter Health as their hospital. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, with the big footprint that Baxter Health has, that should alleviate a lot of travel for the veterans.
It does, and it expands our reach so that we can get information to non-VA providers. And one of the things that has been really of interest that we learned early on, when you're talking about veterans health care and whatnot, and I would talk to non-VA providers, and they'd say, well, Dan, we don't treat veterans. So yes, but you do. You're just not being paid by VA.
Yeah.
If you are in the business of healthcare in Baxter County, you're treating veterans. And you get down to numbers, 12.2% of the population of Baxter County are in fact veterans. But go beyond that, census tells us that the average household in this county is 2.5 people. So 2.5 times 12.2, that's almost a third of our population lives in a veteran household. And so it makes a huge difference when you look at it that way. So all these providers that weren't used to the military culture and so on are asking those questions about, have you served or any member of your family in the military? So
now they're identifying them as veterans, so as opposed to being like, we don't treat veterans, now they're asking them, so.
And now we're getting, I'm going to be on a Zoom with Western Interstate Commission on Higher Education, who's the ones that kind of have put together the structure of our Together with Veterans outreach, the grant program for rural veteran suicide prevention. Hollie and I and her husband and my wife went out to Denver, excuse me.
We went to Denver, Colorado.
Last year for their summit.
Yeah.
And since that time, they've really looked at how Baxter County, the breadth of our community involvement, and that's been the big problem in a lot of communities. How do you get the whole community behind something like this? So we're asked now to begin to think about putting on a segment of that thing this year at the summit. So
yeah.
Baxter County is kind of unusual in that regard. We have the governor's challenge that we're trying to take our framework that we created here in Baxter County and do it also in Hot Spring County and Garland County. They also have high suicide rates. And the governor's challenge, they come up with a grant. The big problem is they haven't been able to put together a community-based network like we have here, and that's what it takes to make it function.
Yeah.
So we're trying to help them with that, but it really starts at the community level.
Holly, how much involvement do you and your veteran service officers have in things that Dan Hall does?
So we actually work almost hand in hand. So like when we're talking about veteran suicide, helping get your claim and get your financial or your health in order to go see VA providers, all of those things are contributing factors to preventing that suicide and making them a part of the community and bringing them closer. So, I mean, we kind of work, our VSOs and our community leaders work hand in hand with that to kind of help with those preventative measures as well. So we do a lot of, like the Veteran Benefit Fair that's coming up in April, we do a lot of those things just so that they know the resources that are available for them, so that if they ever were to be in crisis, they know the means to reach out and they know who to contact for information too if they ever need.
Our whole approach has been to find veterans that are kind of isolated, that don't know what's out there, and help them get the help and the treatment that they require before they're in crisis. You know, VA has spent literally tens of millions of dollars on researches and surveys trying to come up with algorithms so that they can identify that veteran that might have suicidal ideation. And it never works, because the simple part of it is there are like 8 what we call protective factors, that if a person has all these characteristics in their life, the odds of them having suicide ideations are reduced. But you know what? There's still somebody that has all of those 8 protective factors that all of a sudden, and you know some right in this community, that people turn around and say, that's the last guy in the world I ever thought that would commit suicide. And we had a couple of those in this county. And on the other end of it, a person could have none of those protective factors and never think about suicide. They might lay around on the streets of San Francisco shooting up every day, but and eventually die of an overdose, but not intentionally. So it's just one of those things that...
That's the slow road to suicide.
The trick is to be aware of those protective factors, and when you know somebody who suddenly has lost, for example, a job or a purpose, which also then gives you the financial ability to take care of your day-to-day or week-to-week. You have housing stability, some resilience, some ability to care for yourself, maybe go to church and have some spiritual support, and your social support. Well, if you know somebody that suddenly has lost a job, lost a career or whatever, they might lose 3 or 4 of those protective factors right off the top. 'Cause if you think about it, in a lot of professions, the people that you work with every day in your job are also your social network. And that also has to do with your housing stability and your ability to take care of your needs on a day-to-day basis. So or retired people who suddenly loses a spouse, we deal with that sometimes, where they just don't know which end is up and what have you. So being aware of those people doing what within the veteran community, what we call buddy checks. You haven't heard from somebody in a while, call them up and say, what's going on, you know. It makes a big difference, and we can prove that because we can track with our spreadsheets how many veterans we've actually contacted and referred. And then we also can track how many what I call self-initiated contacts we have with the county veteran service officers. We do this show this morning, and maybe somebody's out there watching, and we tell them, you know, contact your local county veteran service officer. In this county, it's Charlie Leonard. The phone number is 425-8155. But in whatever county you're in, that individual works for the county judge. So if you don't know them, you don't know how to reach them, call the county judge. Find out how to get in touch with your county veteran service officer. And so we can look at, as these contacts go up, and as those self-initiated contacts go up, the suicide rates have come down. The big deal with our outreach picnic, after that last one, we had about 18 veterans that then signed up for veteran health care at the community-based outpatient clinic.
And if you get just one, it makes it well worth it.
Oh, yeah. And so that's really just bringing the whole thing together. On our outreach picnic, we'll have, as last year, we had Dr. Margie Scott, who's director of Central Arkansas Veterans Health Care. She brought the mobile unit up here, and they did shots, flu shots, and vaccinations. DAV brought their mobile unit up, and they did claims.
Yeah, we have the
vet center brought their
counseling.
mobile unit. So it just really becomes a huge veteran fair, if you will.
Time for our next break. We'll be back in just a moment.
At Letty's Mexican Restaurant, we are here to keep you safe during these difficult times, as well as serve you the best Mexican food in the area. That's why we've installed a convenient pickup window for all your to-go and pickup orders, as well as a covered outdoor seating area. Give us a call at 870-435-2532 to order your next meal. And don't forget, Letty's also provides catering for small parties or big events. Experience the best in Mexican cuisine. Letty's in Gassville. Close to Lake Norfolk and a short journey to Jordan County Line Liquor is your destination for all your refreshment needs. They offer the widest variety of all your wines, beers, and liquors with the cleanest atmosphere and the largest selection in the area. Not sure what to get? Ask Jordan County Line Liquor's friendly and knowledgeable staff for an expert recommendation you can't go wrong with. Also, don't forget about the Smoker's Den for all your smoking and accessory needs. That's Jordan County Line Liquor, close to Lake Norfolk, located on Highway 177 in Jordan, Arkansas.
You know, Harry, I think you were right. I hate to say it.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, I think it is finally time for us to move out of this place. Someplace closer to the churches, doctors, someplace you don't have to mow a huge yard. It's time we downsize.
No, I've seen that hottest hotshot agent guy. He's got himself a bunch of listings.
Well, I talked to Grace, and she had some wonderful things to say about the Z Team.
Oh yeah, we've heard them on the radio. You know, I checked out the website at retiredarkansas.net the other day. Didn't really look like they had a lot of listings.
They don't have a lot of listings because they sell them.
Well, maybe it's time for us to call the Z-Team. You know, Marge, I think maybe this time you were right.
Well, there's a first time for everything.
Call the Z-Team, Century 21 Lemac Realty, 1024 Highway 62 East Mountain Home. 870-405-0793.
Hi, Brett, Fritz, and Paisley here at Mower Warehouse on Buzzard Roost Road. We sell Ferris zero-turn mowers that have patented coil spring suspension. Mower Warehouse has the largest selection of Ferris zero-turn mowers in stock. 0% financing available. We buy, sell, trade new and used mowers. Mower Warehouse also services all brands of mowers. We offer free delivery. Come see us for all your mower needs. That's Mower Warehouse on Buzzard Roost Road in Mountain Home, where your business is appreciated.
It's a matter.
What? Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. Dan Hall, Arkansas Department of Disabled Veterans, and Hollie Scoma, District 3 Veteran Service Officer. Did they add any alphabet to your soup?
No, not today.
No?
No, we only have like a couple acronyms.
Only
We've
a
been doing
couple?
really good. He didn't even say witchy. I thought he was going to say witchy. He
What
went
is- what
with
is
the very
witch?
long thing.
Western Interstate Commission on Higher Education.
Yeah, that's why I smiled. I was like, oh look, he knows the whole thing. So, but speaking of,
And they come under the mental illness
Yeah.
research clinics and so on in Rocky Mountain, and they all have their acronyms.
Yeah.
That's
and
what I call it, the alphabet soup.
Then it comes down to they create the TWV program, which is Together with Veterans Grants.
Yeah.
And of course, then we have the DAV who steps up and actually runs the thing.
That's why I call this portion the alphabet soup. Put it all in there, mix it up,
makes
pull
you
out some
crazy.
letters, and they'll come up with something for
The
it.
federal government and even the state government, I work for state, I used to tell me, I stop saying the acronyms, say the words.
Yeah.
You know, you're kind of like talking over people's heads when you use all these acronyms, and they don't know what you're talking about.
Holly, you got a news release in front of you. What's that all about?
Oh yeah, so this actually goes hand in hand with what Dan was talking about with suicide prevention and our like core initiatives, if you will, here. So Biden just released for the fiscal year budget for 2024. And so he has some core initiatives that he would like to help take care of for veterans, which include investing in preventing veteran suicide, which we had already talked about, bolstering and ending veteran homelessness, supporting women's veterans health, and then the medical facilities. So seeing what Biden is and what the president and the VA is gearing towards trying to take care of with veterans affairs, if you will, and what we here as a community have already been focused on. These are our key initiatives, if you will, here too. So it's just super funny to see how it kind of goes hand in hand. But like Dan said, we are in the thick of it and doing things all the time with these things.
It's come a long way. You just back up 5 or 6 years when there was a big problem with the post 9/11 GI Bill basically said that you were not eligible for VA benefits if you had other than an honorable discharge.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we had a lot of young men who, very patriotic after 9/11-2001, they just went off to serve and fight terrorism. And after their 3rd or 4th trip to Afghanistan, losing their best friends and what have you, they came back and had issues. And some of them took to self-medication. Of course, DOD had a zero tolerance for any kind of substance abuse, and they just kick them with an administrative discharge. Well, so then you had an issue where these people were never diagnosed with PTSD or mental issues. They're not eligible for VA care.
Right.
And you had the 2 largest bureaucracies in the world, DOD and VA, pointing fingers, and DOD saying, oh, we didn't make the rule, you did, and VA saying, well, you need to screen them better before you just kick them out. And finally, I think it was Secretary McDonald that said, enough of this. Any veteran that is in a mental health crisis needs help, it's going to be seen by VA, regardless of the character of his discharge. We'll worry about fixing that later. And that grew to where we got locally, same day. If I have a veteran that's in crisis, he needs help, I can get him into the C-Box same day into the mental health unit. And now, as of January 17th of this year, that same thing applies to not only VA but non-VA providers. If a veteran has issues and we need to take him over to Baxter Regional or Baxter Health, it's covered.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of growth in this thing, getting down to, it's great to say, well, you're going to have coverage, but if it takes you 6 months to apply for your...
And to get it,
to get that benefit before you can get treated, that was not going to work. So there's a lot been done in the last 5 and 6 years.
Yeah. But like I said, it's kind of funny to see how it all goes along with exactly what we're doing here in our very small community, how these are our pillars, and how, me and Dan are trying to take over some of these things and make sure that people are aware of what's going on and how to help them, and getting Baxter Regional involved, getting we have a couple warming centers and things like that for homelessness, so that whenever they are in cold weather or things like that, we can have the resources to send them so that they're not waiting on VA or the state.
But your position is only 6 years old, I think.
Yeah.
It used to be that we had one district office at Fort Roots in North Little Rock.
Yeah.
And when Director Sneed took over, we did the big strategic plan, and he created the 9 districts and created these districts out where the veterans live. And that was a big start toward really getting some continuity into the training. And now her job is she trains all these 9 county veteran service officers. So there are some that are a little better than others, but they're all competent. That makes a big difference.
What counties does District 3 take care of?
So it takes care of Baxter, Boone, Cleburne, Fulton, Izzard, Independence, I'm missing one, Sharp, and then Stone.
Claiborne?
Oh, no, that's all 9. I got it.
Basically,
Marion County, too.
basically Harrison to Batesville.
Yeah. So we do a lot, and we have a lot of resources. So because I'm the district, my county VSOs will tell me what's going on, and hey, we have someone who could potentially help veterans, or providing rides or services. So if I get a veteran from that county who calls me as their first stop as opposed to their county service officer, I can let them know, hey, here are the resources for this area. Or we had multiple homeless veterans during that freeze and that snow that we had call, and they were like, I need help. I was able to get them in contact with our local VFWs or DAV chapters in these other areas to get them situated for the day. So then maybe we can work on state or VA things later, but those things take time. So our community-based programs are heart of all of those things and help keep them running day to day. So having those and having, the people to contact and the resources for it is super vital.
What do we think our homeless population for veterans is in this area?
I just had that.
I don't have a...
Yeah.
They've got that Hope for All group that works out of the Methodist Church over there, and I think they've got facilities for 8 or 10 people, and they're always pretty well tied up. We've got the new, what do they call that, vet center there, but they don't have but 1 or 2 in there.
Yeah, the Bob Davis Center.
Yeah, Bob Davis Center.
So I know last year we housed, Arkansas housed 200 for Central Arkansas Healthcare, and I think Fayetteville was comparable with like maybe 100 for veterans homelessness. But I do know that we do have a larger homeless veteran population here.
And now that we're structured the way we are locally, I always tell people I'm not really a resource. I'm kind of a trusted conduit to resources. And so we all try to work together, and as a result of that last power outage we had, I got calls from Little Rock saying, we have a couple of veterans that are on oxygen or on special thing that may be out of power. Yeah. And so I wouldn't have known that but for the call from Mike Dobbs down there. So we can follow up.
Mm-hmm. A great network of people doing great things.
Mm-hmm. It is.
And it's getting bigger and bigger.
Yep. Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing.
No, it's a good thing,
the problem's never going to go away.
No, and I constantly harp on the thing called sustainability. This is not a 1-year or 2-year project. This is a transformation of the way we view suicide prevention and response. And most of the people involved are a little bit younger than me. I'm not building a resume. I'm not looking to move on, be promoted, or take another job. So I'm going to be here as long as I can. But so many of our people are closer to Hollie's age that have some great experience, but then they get an opportunity to move on, get a promotion, or go to a different. And fortunately, we're not losing them.
Yeah.
When Alicia left us, she ended up going to work for Pinnacle Point Behavioral Health. So we actually added another agency.
Mm-hmm.
So I keep telling them, always think in terms of sustainability, because whether you know it or not, you are the experts. And when you move up, somebody behind you needs to fill in that is also aware of what's going on. Yeah. And we've been pretty fortunate in that regard.
I think that's one of the coolest things is, like you said, we don't ever lose anybody in our community resource group. We actually gain people, because when somebody steps out, we'll be like, who's replacing you? And where are you going? Now you both get to come. So, and it just kind of broadens our reach just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Hollie, when you left the military, what made you get into this line of work?
So honestly, we actually talk about this a lot. I never thought I would. I was not going to identify as a veteran. I had no plans to actually help or do anything when I got out of the military. I mean, that was my whole sense of purpose for a long time, being an active duty member. So when I got out, I was actually in the throes of a lot of these things. And it ended up being me reaching out and talking to my other fellow people and realizing that there was a problem there. And I was like, oh, I need to help more people like this. And so then I got into Veterans Affairs in Florida, helping and training, and then I came over here.
What brought you to Arkansas?
A job listing online.
A job listing?
A job listing online.
We interviewed her by Zoom.
Yeah,
Zoom interview.
I had never really heard of Mountain Home, Arkansas, and I applied for the job, and it's been one of the best things that we ever did for my family and for me.
Dan, real quick, one more time on the NRA banquet. It's in April.
Yeah.
April the 18th, 5:30 at the fairgrounds, and dinner. There's lots of ways you can participate. A dinner ticket is $35, a couple is $60. You can buy a dinner and a $100 raffle pack. What we really like are businesses and organizations that sponsor a table of 8, and that gives us 8 people in those seats that bid on auction items.
And we'll talk more about that throughout the week coming up.
Yeah.
You've been watching The Morning Show on XL7-TV. We'll see you tomorrow.